What's up YouTube, Dare2727. I am doing a new video for 2017. Happy New Year's. This is my 2016 Transformers Collectors Awards. And these are the awards for toys I bought and paid for in 2016. Now granted, some of these toys came out way before 2016, but these are the toys that I paid for and got in 2016. And I started ramping up my collecting in 2015, but 2016 was a really good year for me in collecting. I hope it was a good year for you in collecting, whether you collect 1/6 scale, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Thundercats, statues, whatever you collect. I just hope it was a good year. Iron Man, Marvel, Hot Toys, SH Figures, whatever. I just hope it was a good year in collecting, because now we have so many options as collectors, especially Transformers collectors. That was my childhood passion, still my adult passion. And so we've gotten to a point where we're getting a lot of good figures, multiple companies competing for the same figure. So I don't know if we reached a bubble, but like Drake said, what a time to be alive and what a time to be a Transformer collector. So like I said, these are all Transformers that I bought and paid for in 2016. And we'll do like Skullface, we'll do a compliment sandwich, we'll do, shout out Skullface, we'll do the most surprisingly good toy, the most disappointing toy, the worst toy, and then the best toy. And some of these will have more than one in each category. In the category, some of them, like a worst toy, only have one. So a good thing is that we only have one bad toy to give out, just one horrible toy. The rest of it is more compliments than bads, more pros than cons. And for each toy, I'm gonna talk about at least a pro or con to tell you what I like and what I dislike about it. So without that being said, I'm gonna give out one superlative, just basically the most sentimental toy of 2016. It is Alpha Triumph from Hasbro, Headmaster. I think it's part of the Titan Wars. But we all know this is a $15 toy. You get what you get with this toy, but it came from my lovely girlfriend. I appreciate it. It's one of the things that can build and make our relationship stronger. She understands I like Transformers, and so she bought me a Transformer. So this was the first Transformer I ever got from somebody not my parent. So I really appreciate it. And we all know what it is. It's an okay toy, but the sentiment behind it means the world. So Alpha Triumph was the most sentimental Transformer I got in 2016. So after that, we're gonna go to the most surprisingly good. So I think if I'm looking right now, if you see all these, I'm gonna pull them out as I can think of them. And so we'll start out. We have 3 surprisingly good toys in the category. So the third most surprisingly good toy is Chigger. It's DX9's Chigger, aka Astro Train. And shout out to my cameraman wavygodd for doing a good job. But what I like about DX9 Chigger is the paint. If you see the paint all through here, all throughout the face sculpt. If you can get it in close on the face sculpt. It's not slavishly Astro Train, but you know who it is. I love that. I think that's the best thing I like about the face sculpt. If you look at the paint on the eyes, they just pop. The head crest gives you kind of a Trojan ideology, but it still lets you know it's Astro Train. I love the scale. If you have a Masterpiece Megatron or Optimus Prime, he's a little bigger, and I think Astro Train should be bigger. But I love the scale, and I also love I like the transformation because they do something a little different. They don't just do where the top half is a shuttle and the bottom half is a choo-choo train. They actually fold it in to make the shuttle and flip it back out to make the choo-choo train. So I think that that's interesting engineering. The cons of this toy are really few. Kind of the shoulders, just how to transform the shoulders, and these gaps right here. I'm not a real big gap person, but I would wish they had something to cover these gaps. But by and large, Astro Train is a great toy. I would give him probably an 8 out of 10, and he surprised the hell out of me. I just think he's a really good toy. So again, number 3 on my most surprisingly good toys is DX9 Chigger. Number 2 on my surprisingly good toys is Legends, DX9, and DX9 will be all through here. I guess I'm a fanboy. It's DX9 Warren Pockets Mitron. Before I say anything about him specifically, I'm just starting to get into Legend scales, and I would say I'm going to do a video probably in the next couple of weeks about Legend scales and why I think they're the future of collecting. But I love this scale. I love this toy. And so the reason I like this toy so much is because for me, if you look at any of my previous videos, most of my Masterpiece figures, I'm collecting Masterpiece, Legends, and a couple more things right now, and I'll talk about that later. But most of my masterpieces just transform one time, sit in the detox and look good. When I really want to play and fiddle around with toys, I think these are great toys. They give you good scale. They transform pretty intricately for their size. And a lot of times they give you a lot of good paint and good detail in such a small power pack figure. So there's pretty much a lot of pros of him. If things I like about him or the look, he looks like Megatron. For his size, he has great articulation, in, out, up, down. I'm not gonna go through it. He has good paint throughout. And he has some interesting, even though not perfect transformation points, he has some interesting transformation points. So I like him like that. The con is when you have this smaller form factor, it's hard to kind of hide everything. And Megatron is such a hard character to do anyway, but I think they could have did a better job of hiding this. And even in some things in transformation, so like this just comes out. I wish they had some locking mechanisms and stuff like that. So some of the things you can get, some of the locking mechanisms you can get with bigger size toys, you don't get with legend size. So I wish they could have did something with that. It does have a little die cast, but overall, probably give them I gave Sugar an 8 out of 10. I probably give them an 8.2 out of 10 because I think it's to get all this in this form factor to me is amazing. So number 2 on my surprisingly good list is DX9 Mitron. The most surprisingly great toy in my collection that I bought for 2016 is Master Made Apollo. This toy is fantastic. I'm gonna start off and say this toy gets a 10 out of 10. And the reason I even started collecting Master Made, because Super Deformed, they're called Super Deformed because you see his proportions are all wonky. But the reason I started collecting because, and I'm not even to say collecting, the reason I tried this toy was because P.I. did an interview on tfsource.com, and one of the things he said was just try something new, you never know what you will like it. And I just saw this toy and I thought it was kind of cool, Super Deformed. I said, it's cute, let me try it, and I'm amazed. This toy probably weighs more than every toy over here besides Devastator and maybe Overlord. This toy has a lot of heft to it, which is what we love. Has paint everywhere, has detail everywhere. It has lights and sounds. I'm not really a super big lights and sound person, but you know, they can enhance the toy. Whenever they do, I take advantage of it. So it does nothing but make a toy better than me. So it has lights and sounds. It has transformation. And it actually does some interesting things. So it ratchets everywhere. And like as you see with the hammer right here, it basically takes Omega Supreme's traditional hand and hard forms of hammer and other weapons. So I just think this is an amazing toy. I would tell anybody to check out Master Made. They have the Metroplex, they have the Triplicon, and this. I know they have those 3. But I would say definitely check out Master Made. The paint, the quality, the build quality is amazing. This toy is a 10 out of 10. And this was my surprisingly best toy I bought in 2016. Most disappointing toy. It's on. So Master Made's Apollo concludes our 2016 most surprisingly great toys. To start off, we only have 2 in the most disappointing toy range this year. And I'll start off with the second most disappointing toy I bought in 2016. And it's, again, DX9's Go Walk. Now, the pro about the thing is that it's relatively simple to transform. I don't know if that's a pro or a con. But after the first transformation, I was able to go between modes without any video or any instructions. So I think that there's something to be said, that you can transform it without any instructions. But this thing had so many cons. I mean, and coming off of, you just saw Chigger, the other triple changer, was on my most surprisingly great toys I got in 2016. But coming off of that, it just feels rushed. I mean, very little paint. I don't like the scale. He's so much bigger than Chigger. Matter of fact, let me grab Chigger real quick. Like, these two are supposed to be kind of like the same size based on, you know, cartoons and stuff, and he's so much bigger than Chigger, bigger and bulkier. And some of the things didn't feel finished on mine, excuse me. Like, this keeps popping out. The knees, this keeps popping out. Just seemed like a half-hearted attempt after following something so good. So I would give this no paint. Again, I think I said that, with very little paint. DX9 Go Walk, he gets like a 4, maybe a 5. I say a 4.5 out of 10. Wish he had more paint. The transformation is good. I just don't like the size. I don't like the pieces keep breaking on me, on my version anyway. And it just feels rushed. Like even with the size of what you don't even have anywhere to put these, and this isn't like what you do with Masterpiece toys. So just by and large, maybe my transformation's off, but by and large, it just feels like a rushed product. And coming off the heels of that Trigger, which I thought was, like I said, an 8 on my surprisingly great toy part of the review. It just feels unfinished and rushed. So it gets a 4.5 out of 10. So that's number 2, DX9's Go Walk, aka the Leaf Swing. Number 1, the most disappointing toy in my collection in 2016 is X-Transbots Apollyon. I'm not gonna go into what everybody's saying about X-Transbots. Said it's just meant to be a display piece and not transform. We're just evaluating this simply off of, hey, I bought a toy in 2016. I received this toy in 2016. One of my main problems is this. He goes limp at the barrel. Horrible build quality. Let's see if he'll stand. Doesn't stand. Let's start off. And so the quote Bane in Batman, or the paraphrase Bane in Batman, to truly have despair, you have to have hope. So to truly be a bad toy, you have to have some aspects of a good toy. They did great care. Anybody who got this toy, the accessories are top notch. They're probably the best accessories I've ever gotten with any piece, official third party. They did the Heart of Cybertron on this side. I'm not gonna break it out. They did the replacement Cosmic Rush part on this side. He looks like Megatron. He has good paint, good color breakup. Legs aren't that bad. Man, he looks the part. The shine, the paint finish on the metal, the digital metallic look. I have DX9's Mitron, and I played with Mate Toys' Despotron. Both great toys, but none of them look DX9 in the face. But just the overall look, none of them look as cartoon accurate as this guy does. But he can't transform. He can barely stand. Parts of it are breaking off. They need replacement joints. And so it hurts me because this toy has so much potential. When I opened up the box, this toy was a 10 out of 10. I was ready to crown this the toy of the year. But as soon as I took it out of the box, it went from 10 out of 10 to 2 out of 10. And so just off look alone and just all the other things, I give it like a 3.7 out of 10 or 3.4 out of 10. Between 3.4 and 3.7 out of 10. But it has so much potential to be great. It even has electronics, you know, so I wound up taking it off, but it has lights and sounds. Even has lights and sounds, but you see how easy it came off of Megatron. Man, just by and large, see this goes down again. It was a good concept, just bad execution, horrible execution actually. And now with other people coming to the table with Megatrons that are so much better, DX9, Make Toys an official coming soon. I understand Megatron is a hard toy to do, but it shouldn't be a hard toy. It shouldn't be this bad of a product. Because they got most of the things good, it's just the build quality is horrible. So my most disappointing toy of 2016 my most disappointing toy of 2016 is X-Transbots Apollyon. Let's see if he'll say. Nope. That's why he's my most disappointing toy. So now that we concluded our most disappointing toy of 2016, we're gonna go to the worst toys. Worst Transformers I bought in 2016, excuse me. And it's only 2 of them. And one of them is really a bad toy. And one of them just has a bad couple of parts of them. So we're gonna start with the second worst toy I bought in 2016. This is Bad Q's War Dog. Now this is their limited edition version. I forget what the name of it is, but this is the limited edition, the one with the extra paint and all that. So let's start off with the pros. The pros are, it looks like War Dog. The accessories are cool. This version, the paint is cool, but the original version, the paint, there is literally no paint. This has the washes applied, the Tempograph paint in different places. And so it has more paint outs than the original, and the original had horrible paint outs. The reason why this is the worst toy in my collection is because I'm not the best at transforming toys, but the YouTube video instructions help me out a lot. Shout out to all the YouTube reviewers who do that. But this toy, its shoulders are the worst engineering I've ever had in a toy. It took me literally 3 hours to get one shoulder right. The right shoulder is correct. The left shoulder isn't even correct. I just pose it like this to keep it out of the way. It shouldn't take 3 hours to do any part on any toy. I don't care how intricate and how scientific they want their transformations to be. This is not livable. The legs are fun. This is not tolerable, excuse me. The legs are fun. The paint on this version is good, even though the paint on the other part isn't that good. The accessories are good. Some of the transformation is good, but the shoulders are the worst transformation I've ever had. The shoulders almost make me want to throw this toy and break this toy. Now, I've never felt like that, and this is a $120 toy, I think. So, with that being said, this gets number 2 on my most toys list because of the shoulders. If they had gotten the shoulders right and patched up a couple of things, added more paint, patched up some engineering, this actually would have been on the flip side and been one of my surprisingly best toys of 2016. But the shoulders, worst piece of transformation I've ever encountered on a transforming toy. Can't give it nothing but one of the worst toys in 2016. So my worst toy in 2016, and this toy is so bad, my worst transforming toy in 2016. This transformer was so bad, I basically broke it, taped it back together, and gave it away to a kid for Christmas. I don't even have it in my collection, but thank God, Dare2727 is going to give us the paper to see who the worst toy of 2016 is. Dun, 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 dun. The worst toy of 2016 is KFC's Sets of 2 Beatbox and Bird Bomb, aka Beatbox and Squat Talk. These toys are horrible. The difference between being a bad toy and a disappointing toy is this. This toy improved on Megatron from 1984. It looks better, is built better, has intricate transformations. This feels like a toy that should have been $100 compared to when Megatron was what, $20 in the 80s. This toy is an improvement over that Megatron. Now, it wasn't executed well, but this toy was an improvement. So you can't get mad, at least in theory, for somebody improving on the toy. This toy is the exact same from what it was in 1985. The transformation, there's no upgrades. There is no difference between, you could have took this toy back in 1985 and nobody would have known the difference. Hell, somebody even had the one from 1985 and brought the TF Con and it was better than this toy. And this toy is going for $40. So not only is it horribly built, no advanced engineering, it's actually overpriced. So it hits off all the things I don't want on the toy. I want it to look good. I want it to look better than the original did. It should be more fun to transform. And the price should reflect its progress from then to now. This price is just an up price because it is built now. This is a horrible toy. So I gave it away, and this is a 1 out of 10 just because they actually gave me something. KFC has done some good things, but this is not one of the best things. So my worst toy in 2016 is that I bought and paid for and received in 2016 was KFC cassettes, Beatbox, and Bird Bomb. And this is what I think of that toy. Alright, so since we got on with the worst toy, which again, if I could spit on my floor, I would spit on that piece of paper I just threw. It was KFC, Beatbox and Bird Bomb, aka Beatbox and Squat Talks. Beatbox and Squat Talk. That was the worst toy I bought and received in 2016. Now we get to end on the happy note. The best toys I bought and received in 2016, best Transformers. So number 4 on the best Transformers I received in 2016 is Ocular Max Sphinx, aka Mirage. This toy is great. I have most of the Carbots, and this may be the best Carbot I have for masterpiece size. The paint, this one has repo labels, but the paint, the transformation is fun yet simple. Its articulation is good. I mean, just enough Mastermind Ocular Max, they do great toys anyway, but he looks good, he looks like Mirage. He transforms fun, he has great articulation. He was what, I think $80 Although this is the alternative version, not the deep blue, but the royal blue version. He hit all the marks for me, and I would give him I expected a lot from Mastermind, so they deliver. I would give him an 8.4 on a scale of 1 to 10. And so, again, number 4 on my best toys I bought and received in Transformers. Number 4 on my best Transformers I bought and received in 2016 is Ocular Max Sphinx, aka Mirage. Number 3 for the best toys I bought in 2016 is, come here, big guy. Whoa. It's Toy World's Constructor, aka Devastator. This guy was built for combined mode. So individually, all these have problems. Long haul can't stand. Hook transformation got on my nerves. Scrapper, you had to shimmy this down to fit in his legs. The treads on long haul and Scavenger. The treads on Bone Crusher Scavenger, excuse me. Hook had some problems. Mixmaster had some problems. Individually, they all had problems. But when you bring it together and you see what this produces, it's worth the $600 it took to buy this. Yes, it was $600. My cameraman, wavygodd, is like shop. Each one of these costs $100. The paint is good. The articulation for a combiner is good. And this was built with combine. This was built with combiner on its mind. And one of the interesting things, and I think Skullface tapped this, is the concept of parts forming to build these super big combiners. The scale is right. I love the scale. If this is what parts forming gets us, I suggest everybody parts form, because you can do more things with the actual individual box and with the combined mode if you don't have to worry about how long Hall's legs are going to fit as these legs. How are these going to connect? So I really think that parts forming combiners is the way to go, no matter what the scale is. But this toy for a combiner, it hits all the marks on me. So this is kind of a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10, especially for combined mode. So this is definitely a case of the sum is greater than all of the parts, because the parts themselves are probably between 6 to maybe 7.5, but the whole is a 9. So number 3 on my list of best toys I bought in 2016 is Toy World's Constructor, aka Devastator. Number 2 for the best toy Transformer I bought in 2016 is the Wyjing MPP-01. So all this is the Hasbro mold upscale, but it's more than upscale. They added paint, extra accessories, other things. So I talked about X-Trans box Apollyon. That was the first toy I bought that I felt like it was an experience when I bought it, because of the accessories and the box and everything else. This was the second Transformers toy I bought that I felt was an experience. I love this thing. If there was one toy in my collection that if it was a fire and I can only grab one toy in my collection, it would be this. This toy is amazing. It transforms like it's supposed. Its transformation is relatively simple. It has ratchets everywhere, great articulation, great paint. They even did an evasion mode, which was the dirt part. I'll get into. Great scale. I mean, it's not meant to scale with anything else. It's kind of an upsized version. But by and large, this is very great build quality. And it brings up an interesting question of, is this a knockoff? And we can talk about that another time. And if it is a knockoff, where does this leave Transformers collecting when knockoffs are becoming better than official products and normal products? But that's a discussion for neither here nor there. Really no cons. The only con I had to it was I wish they would have chromed probably these barrels, which turned into his gun too, and probably did a little more paint in the shins. Whatever. By and large, this figure is a 9.8 out of 10 on my scale for me. I love this toy. Like I said, if it was a fire and I can only grab one toy, this would be the toy I would grab. Again, get this or get any version of it. This is an amazing toy. So that was number 2 in my best toys of 2016, the MPP-01 movie Optimus Prime by Wyjing. And my best toy for 2016, Overlord, Mastermind Creations, Overlord, Carnivores. My best toy for 2016 is Mastermind Creations Carnifex, aka IDW Overlord. Such a great character, such a great toy. The paint, the accessories, the articulation, and he had shoulder issues just like Wavygodd, but the difference was that his shoulder issues made sense, and you had to do initial stuff with his shoulders because he has 3 different modes. His took me 15 minutes per shoulder to do. After I saw Paint for Life review and Skullface review, they actually helped out a lot in his shoulders. While they were bad, they weren't the beast that Wardogs was. Great scale, great size, great paint. Now the con of it is I wish it had a little more paint, especially in the shins to break it up. The transformation to all 3 modes is great. It's fun to play with. It's just an amazing toy. Size, everything. So for my bottom dollar, this toy is a 10 out of 10. Actually, this toy, excuse me. For my bottom dollar, this toy is a 9.9 out of 10. Like I said, the only thing that keep it from being perfect is just having a little more paint and a few more areas to pop off and make it look good. But I recommend this toy wholeheartedly. Mastermind Creations, Carnifex, and it is a great toy. Again, this is my 2016 Toy of the Year. Hope everybody can keep up the good work. Hope Mastermind Creations. Don't worry about it.
All right.
This is my just cut that part out.
All right.
This is my 2016 Toy of the Year, Mastermind Creations Carnifex. It's such a great toy. And again, the pros are the paint, the size. The cons are could have had a little more paint. The pros are the paint, the size, the transformation. The cons are it could have had a little more paint, and the side piece falls off from time to time. But by and large, I love this toy. It's a 9.9 out of 10. My best toy of 2016. So, with that being said, thank everybody for watching my channel. Like, subscribe, add your comments. I try to reply to every comment. Again, it's not that popular, but anybody who comments, anybody who watches, thank you. I appreciate it. We definitely want to keep doing more stuff. Gonna try to do more stuff in 2017, and I hope 2017 is your best year ever and your best year in collecting ever. All right, this has been Dare2727 signing off. Appreciate it.